As a luthier for 30 years, I deal a lot with dust, and I've been trained not to blow things around. Sometimes I actually do have to blow stuff around in my shop. For the longest time, I've always used this, which is, well, rather big and clunky. And yes, I know the middle comes off, but it's still heavy and big and clunky. This is very tiring to use. Now, I started using this inside of my shop, and you should too. Let's see it in action, all right? So, now that we're inside of the guitar, well, I'm kind of over here, you can see that using this is kind of hard. You can't really get around very easily, and you're gonna lose a whole lot of space. But something like this, you can just blow all of your worries away. And this is really fantastic. You don't even have to hold down the button to keep it on. So let's play with this some more. You'll see why this has just earned a big old spot in my workshop. I like tools that don't take up a lot of space. I mean, I've got a bunch of space, but a tool that is compact and handheld is pretty good. I can easily do, and actually, I'm gonna try not to talk over. Look at that, slow down. I'm gonna try not to talk over that because that's terrible audio. And we know how much you prefer good audio. You know, just using this little nozzle really, really helps accelerate that air. It's surprisingly quiet. Now, one of the other things that I use quite a bit in the shop are my tools. You know, I've got my bandsaw and my table saw and so on and so forth. And so sometimes they get really, really dusty, and you know I shouldn't. I will use this to kind of knock off a lot of the dust in conjunction with this. Ignore the falling dust. But I'll use a brush with this to kind of knock off some of the excess dust. With this, I don't need the brush. It's pretty impressive. So let's go over to my table saw, and I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about. I lied. I'm not going to my table saw. That ended up being pretty clean, but I found something that was pretty dusty. This is my joiner. I've got a bunch of large chips on it because it takes some large chips. This here is my thickness sander. This has a lot of small, super fine dust. And I guess to show you, let's use both of these blowers. And I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about in terms of, you know, the brute force versus the elegance. So, let's start off with the elegance, okay? I'm gonna just kind of do a little bit here. I don't wanna blow away all the dust. I wanna be kind of careful with it. So it handled these chips without any issue. Using my big Milwaukee, here we go. I'm gonna try to be about the same distance away. That wasn't very controlled, plus it made an even bigger mess than what I started with, which I now have to clean up. And so, you know, it works well for moving lots of air, but we're not necessarily looking to move tons of air here in the shop. We're looking to be precise so that way we're not blowing dust everywhere. I'm getting a lot of, because this is such a high volume of air, I'm getting a lot of dust blowback because, you know, as that air is moving through, well, the air, it's shearing it off and kind of pulling it back. I want to try that Fanttik with kind of the same thing, and let's see how that works as well. There's very little dust just floating in the air. There's a little bit, don't get me wrong. But I gotta tell you, every time I use this, I'm impressed. I always thought I liked about this one, this Milwaukee, is because you can just kind of gradually roll in and choose a pretty good setting. But I gotta tell you, holding this All right, enough of that. Holding that in place kind of gets cumbersome for quite some time. This one, I forgot to mention, this thing has like 6 power levels. So when you start it up on one, it's just a very nice, gentle dusting blow off, very controlled. And well, let's just kind of go through the range. The other thing is you get all these little tips, which I really appreciate for, you know, doing little things like clearing out frets. So when I'm doing a refret, which this is about to get frets into, I like to clear out the slots. And, you know, sometimes I need to use a brush with my Milwaukee. This guy takes care of all of it without anything. It's really impressive. By the way, I forgot to mention the pricing. Last time I saw this Milwaukee, it was about $160, which is, you know, pretty good for a Milwaukee tool. That's not terrible. But you also have to supply your own battery, which can be up to an extra $100 depending on which battery you use. This one, my goodness, it's $68. I mean, this thing is an absolute bargain. By the way, if you use the promo code MarshallB10, you get an extra 17% off. So that takes it down to about $50. That's pretty good. Get yourself one of these. This, sorry Milwaukee, but here's where you're going. I don't need it in my shop anymore. I don't even want it at my house because it's not going to do anything for me. It's been thoroughly replaced. Seriously, get yourself one of these. Like, subscribe, buy one. You need it. I'll see you next time. It's hands-free. What can I say? Get yourself one. Use promo code MarshallB10 with the link down below, and you too can get an afternoon blowjob.